Hello, I'm George Gonzalez, and I'm obsessed with making games. I love it, and I'm gonna make games till the day I die. And today we're gonna talk about how to start game development. I will have on each video, I will always have a level so that you know what the video is about. And even for veterans, going over these videos is gonna help you understand how to do things right from the beginning. Okay, so there's a lot of tips that I think will help everybody. What would I do if I needed to start from zero? Okay, and the first thing is, what is my goal? Am I trying to get into the industry? Like, do I want to be hired and work for a big studio, a AAA studio? Do I want to work as a game designer, developer, software engineer, whatever it is? What is your goal? Or do I want to make my own studio? Do I want to eventually know what to, hire other people and make the games that I want to make? Right? A lot of times, developers, when they're working, they realize that when you don't have as much say as to what is what and how to do things, you realize that the only path forward to improve or level up is to get your own studio. This happened a lot. So, what is your goal? And your goal might change, but depending on where you're at, your goal will help you understand what you need to do next, because that's the first thing that I know will help you. Because a lot of developers, even myself, waste time looking at tutorials or wandering around, right? And so that's what we're going to talk about: how to save time as a developer. Today, I want to show you how it is to go back to level zero. Okay, so let's say my goal is to I want to build my own studio and I want to make amazing games. So eventually, I do want to make a game like Marvel Rivals, let's say. I want to make first person shooters, but I want to make them multiplayer. And this is a team based PvP shooter. Okay, so when you change genres, you, in a sense, are starting from level zero. Yes, you do need to, you probably level up pretty fast to level one. Level zero to level one means that you understand, you've chosen an engine. Okay, so if you're going from Unity to Unreal, or Unreal to Unity or Godot or another engine, or you're doing it from scratch, you're starting at level zero. Okay, I am going to use Unity, so I'm already a step ahead. But choosing your engine is what starts everything. Okay, you have a goal, now you have an engine that you picked. I chose Unity. The next step to really level up is to just make a build in that engine. I cannot stress before hitting play, because a lot of times it drags on and you have a lot of problems. So let me show you how it goes. Okay, so let's say I have Marvel Rivals as my goal. I want to be making first person shooter multiplayer games. Okay, yes, I can veer off, but oftentimes I see also developers losing interest in what they set out to do, and then they switch and do another genre as if they can do that, right? For example, you might be good at doing 2D platformers or a different art style, and then you say, well, I'll just make it 3D because it shouldn't be that hard. No, like, you're starting back at level zero. You got to understand that the medium is different, and it's going to take you time, even years, to get back to where you were with the other medium. So understanding that you're going to go back, and if you're in the same engine, you might go back to level one because you already know how to build for that engine, so it's just a little bit different. But even 2D and 3D have different settings for what you want to, how you want to render the camera, the player controller, and all that. I'm in Marvel Rivals is my goal. I have some thoughts on how to start, but I have no experience, zero. So today I'm going to level up to level one. So I chose Unity, and the latest Unity version is Unity 6. So let me show you. I have this Rivals level one. I want to first show you, because it's PC. PC is probably the easiest to build because you just build an executable and you're done. So I want to talk about specifically what you want to think about when preparing for this, because I have to add, let's say I want to install a version of the Unity editor, and it might be similar in Unreal, but in Unity specifically, and that's why I said, like, when you start from a different engine, there's different setup process. In Unity, for example, you have, let's say I want to install Unity 6, this version, for some reason. Okay, when you install certain packages, and don't click on everything. You don't need everything. But if I'm doing Linux, then you want to build for Linux, you can do that, or Mac build. If, let's say, I want to do mobile, so I do Android. If I want to do to build for Mac, I need to make sure you need a Mac computer and an iPhone. But there's iOS build support. You have Android in here. So usually I'm a VR developer, so I develop for Android. So I always have these. For mobile, specifically Android, this is important. And oftentimes you can reuse from previous versions. But my advice, because I've learned this from leveling up and experience, is that if you just download the JDK and SDK tools that come with the specific version, you'll have less problems. Because this often what happens is, if it's the wrong version, it'll have problems. So yes, you can uncheck these and reuse, but that's for mobile. That's why I said, when you pick a genre, and a device, let's say I wanted to make a mobile game, I would have to make sure I download this and I understand how to build to the device. That's why today we're going to build to the device. So that's the first step. And I have Windows because I'm going to do PC builds. Okay. And this is if you want to build a specific server, that's with multiplayers. And so I don't need it right now. These we can always go back and add if we need it after the fact. So it's okay if you miss it, but just know that that's why I stress from level 0 to level 1 to first figure out how to build to the device. Sorry, I stumble in words, but if you're building for Mac, if you're building for iPad, Apple, if you're doing mobile, usually you're going to do both Android and iOS. And so you're going to want to build, you can build the Xcode from the PC, but then you're going to need a Mac to run it through Xcode and upload it to TestFlight or to the Apple Store. And there's a fee also for that, $100 a year for developer fee. I've seen developers spend, I don't know, 3, 5, I forgot how many, but I've seen spend years on a game and they never got approved as a developer. And then when they try to do that, they got rejected for some reason. I don't know why. They probably didn't have a business, but it happens. I don't, that's why I'm trying to give you guys experience. This is how you do it. Okay. So I installed Unity 6. I have the latest. It doesn't once you start, just don't worry about having the best, oh, what version should I do? Just do, if at this point I'm doing Unity 6 because it's stable. I do LTS versions. I think it's LTS. If not, I gotta make sure I do that. This is the LTS. See, so I'm on the wrong version. So I should install this, but I can correct that now. And then the other thing, okay, so I built a project. It'll take a little bit to download. The other thing, when you create a new project in Unity, again, that's why I said in Unreal is different, but I'm going through the process is the same. In Unreal, you want to build, you want to figure out what the settings are or where you're storing things. In here, I know Unreal does have templates too, and Unity does. They also have some learning, great for first-time devs. I did the FPS micro game because Marvel Rivals is an FPS game. And so I was like, okay, let's do that. Or sometimes I'll do the samples or the core. Okay, usually samples, and then you have also in here some other things with different setups. Then you also have 2D platformers if you want to do for mobile. But anyways, I'm just getting something, and I created my project. Okay, I'm gonna cancel that, and I have this game, and I called it Marvel Rivals Level 1 because we're gonna level up one video at a time. And the next levels you've seen, I have a playlist that has all the levels from 0 to 5, where you own your own studio and try to scale. But now I'm gonna show you step by step. So they usually have a tutorial section that you can go through, but we're not gonna go through. We're not gonna try to change anything. Okay, we're gonna try to see. The first thing I look and I see you have build profiles in here now, which is different, which I need to level up and figure out. See if I want to change to Android, and I have to change the settings. And I need to spend some time learning this eventually, especially if I'm gonna do a different version than PC, because there's a lot of different things in here. And even PlayStation, you need to get permission. So don't worry about you're not gonna do Nintendo Switch and PlayStation from the get-go. You need to build a reputation. You need to know how to build to other devices first, and then depending if you have a pitch or a good pitch idea that you can send to PlayStation and they approve it, or they know that you have a title that's working and they're okay with that title being ported over to their platform. And they'll send you a dev kit and everything. But let's say PC, right? We're gonna build and run on a local machine. That is the build settings. And then, so we're gonna do, let's check. I have not seen this yet. I'm assuming there's scenes in here. So we have the intro menu. So yes, we can hit play and it will probably start. See that it says play and it works. But we are not trying to figure out how this works, okay? For level 1, you see I have done nothing, right? But for build profiles. So we're gonna build this profile. I'm gonna hopefully build, and here's all the intro scenes. I can see which is the first scene, and it already has it all for me. And I can go like this and change the scenes that I want. And I add an open scene, it's already in here. I can change the order, but it's gonna mess up the script. So I'm not gonna touch this. I'm learning. In order to level up, I have to figure out, okay, how do I get this to where I can give it to my friends and they can play, right? And it's different for everything. So let's say desktop, don't do this, it's not good. Let's do a video, a folder. Single player test, okay, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Select the folder, it's gonna build. So that is all you need to level 1, okay? Is figure out, because for PC it's super easy. Like I said, if you have an Android and you want to build to mobile, then to level up, you need to figure out, okay, how do I create a developer account for Android, and how do I unlock my phone so that I can sideload? You have to connect it to the computer and upload it to your device. And so how to build to Android so that you can test it. That's the whole point, okay? And then, so you want to figure out how to enable developer mode and what it takes. That's all. You're not going to tinker with scripts. You're not going to tinker with other things. You're trying to figure out the pipeline. How do I get from Unity or Unreal or Godot or whatever it is I'm using for an engine to the device that I want? Because that's what you're going to start from there. That's your foundation. After that, you are technically able to make a game. You will now go from, all you're doing now is building a different game, either from scratch or manipulating this one. But that's all you need. I think you can do any game in any engine. Some are easier and in others, maybe, because they have templates or they have scripts that already work. For example, Unreal already has a lot of multiplayer first-person shooter stuff, so maybe making a Marvel Rivals type of game or clone would be easier in Unreal because it already has most of the built-in stuff for shooters, right? And so, yes, that's viable. But for example, for mobile or VR, I think Unreal is only for PC VR maybe. It's really hard to get it working. It's improving, but it's hard to get it to work for mobile or standalone VR because Unreal comes with a lot of cool stuff from the beginning. But it's okay. Like if you figure it out, right? Like that's why I said figure it out, because what happens if you realize that it takes you an hour to make a build for your mobile device? Oftentimes I found myself working how to optimize my Unreal Engine VR game so I can run on the device. So I learned Unity. I started again from level 0 and built it back up. We have the executable, right? So if I wanted to give this to a friend, I just zip it up, zip file, and send it to them, right? So let's play it. Let's play this game. We're gonna waiting. And this is a single player, so we're not even. And the other thing that I did that you might have noticed is that I didn't try to make a marble and it's the same as in the editor. That's the other thing. See how I play and we're there. WASD. Look, I'm a developer. You're level 1 now, right? You can. But even this is a lot better now to have, right? And you have a map, interactions, and other things. And I can play and I can die. And I suck at this game, obviously. Okay, I died. Let's see what happens. You lose. Okay. And then we have a menu, controls, and you can even have the gamepad. And so I'm now level 1 in this journey to do Marvel Rivals game. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. We're gonna go from level 1 to level 2 and figure things out. And I'm gonna show you and step by step what to do. And once we get to the harder levels, I won't be able to show you everything, but I'll try to also label. So if you look for the level 2s, level 3 videos, you can follow along. But it is very crucial that you pay attention to the lower levels, because skipping levels in this series means that you're gonna miss some stuff, because everything builds on itself, right? We're assuming that from level 1 you already know how to make a build like we just did in your device, and if you don't know how to do that, it's gonna affect your progress, because I've seen it. I've seen developers be in Unreal for years and then they never built to the device, and then they're like, oh crap, it's super hard, or it's impossible, or I'm in the wrong version, or I took a year and everything's changed. So it's important that your iteration process is fast, and the way you make it fast is by learning the pipeline. That is your first level. So goals, engine, make a build. That is it. That's all you need. We did it right here. I downloaded it, I installed it. I talked to you about Mac, Android, PC, a little bit VR. It's the same as Android. But again, you need to figure it out, because in VR it's even harder because you have a device, right? And how do you connect to the device? Developer, you need a developer account. In Meta, it's free, but then you have to figure all that out. Download the Meta Developer Hub. But you need to look at that. So before you start hitting play on the editor or looking in Reddit for what version is best, don't worry about what version is best. The way you figure it out is by doing this. If you do this, it took me like 20 minutes, 30. I mean, there's the download time, but you can hit download and go eat dinner or breakfast or lunch while it's downloading, and then come back and figure it out. If you want to learn what engine's best, then do it. Download Godot, download Unreal, Unity, and let's say you want to make a Marvel Rivals game. Do one, do the other, figure out, build it to the device, do level 1 for all of them, figure out, and then now you know which one do you like more, which one crashes more often, or I don't know, like you'll find out things from doing it. And so instead of looking around and waiting for people to tell you what to do, stop wasting time. Don't read, just what do you want to do? Install it, and then go ahead and figure it out yourself. Like it takes 20 minutes. Like it takes less than the time it will take for someone to answer your question. And even then, it won't be an answer that you might like, or that you might want, or that it might even help you.